Last week's podcast was how to clean your email. Today, I'm going to talk about how to organize your email. So, if you haven't listened to last week yet, that is absolutely okay. You can listen all the way through today's podcast episode and then go back to last week's and listen to that. You're going to want to do the cleanup first and then dive into the organizing. Maybe we don't utilize email as much as we did, but there's a lot of pertinent information that comes through email. Our first step, we're going to determine the categories of emails that are in our inbox because last week we went through and we got rid of all of the old stuff that we could delete. So when you're starting with a cleaned up inbox, you get to see everything that's left. And from that, you're going to be able to determine categories of emails that are in your inbox. And that's what we will create folders for. Okay, so we really want to have this inbox that has in it only what we want in it, but things that we want to save instead of just letting them sit out there and having thousands and thousands of items in our inbox, we can create folders. So, for example, you can have a folder for bills. You can have a folder for school items, doctor's appointments, insurance, sports. We have a lot of stuff that we do with sporting events, maybe Amazon orders. Like you get that order confirmation back, you want to drag it off and drop it into a folder so that it's not cluttering your inbox. But then when you receive the items, you'll see that you had that confirmation. Maybe that's not the best example because I really haven't had any issues with Amazon, but a really good example of things that I figured out I had better save off was sporting gear orders. So we have all of our kids are in various sports, and every sport will provide you with gear for that sport. So we have football sweatshirts. Right now I have a wrestling t-shirt on. Like this is pretty much all I wear. What was happening is I was forgetting that I even ordered. By the time stuff came in, I'm like, what did I order? So once you have your inbox cleaned up, the categories are folders that you're going to create. So the next step is to actually create those folders. And my mind immediately goes to Gmail because that's the email service provider that I primarily use. I am also using Outlook now for business that I'm doing work for locally. Either way, you can create a folder in any email service provider that you have has the ability to create folders, and that's what you're going to want to do. So you go ahead, you create those folders, and that's what you're going to use on a daily basis. So the third step, I know step number 2, simply create the folders. You determine the categories, you're creating the folders. So step number 3 is document what you're going to do each day or each time you go into your email. So you sit down, you're ready to go through your emails, and you take a look, whether it's on your phone or at your computer. And I'm going to just do a sidebar here real quick. I highly recommend that if you're a person that gets sucked into your phone and every morning the first thing you do when you get up is you grab your phone and you go through your emails or you go through some urgent thing, I highly recommend that you stop doing that because to start your day in a way that can create panic and frustration and the feeling to immediately take action, you guys, that is not how you want to start your day as a mom. You genuinely want to start it with a cup of coffee in a nice, peaceful way, right? And maybe I'll do, and I think I've done one already, but how to start your morning. Maybe how to start your morning in a peaceful way to really set yourself up for success throughout the rest of the day. So that was just a little sidebar. For a while, and I do have my emails back on my phone, and I do find myself checking them for no good reason. But if you have multiple emails or multiple things you need to do because we're all busy in a given day, I highly recommend that you're like, I can't think of the word, compart compartmentalizing them. Okay, so if you're going to check your email, do it at your computer. That is what I'm trying to say. If you're going to do the laundry, step away from your computer and do the laundry, because when you take your phone with you, you get sidetracked. You'll be putting clothes into the dryer and it'll buzz because you have a text or you have an email or something. And then you get distracted, and before you know it, you forget to take all the clothes out of the washer and put them into the dryer, and you start the dryer mindlessly and you walk away and you go back 2 hours later and you're like, oh my gosh, why are these clothes still in the washer? Right? Yeah. So I've been there, I've done that. My email is probably going to come off my phone just having that conversation with you. Okay. So, step number 3, document what you're going to do each day or each time you're in your email. Okay. So, here's my example. It's super easy, but if you document this and you post it on your computer, you're going to remember what you're trying to accomplish, and it's going to help you by saving time. Okay. So, here's an example of what you're going to document. Open email. You're going to decide if you need to keep it or not. So that's the first step. Am I going to keep it or not keep it? I've read it. I'm going to delete it. Maybe you don't even open it because you know it's just some subscription or somebody trying to sell you something. And you're going to be like, yeah, I don't need to know anything about that. And you just delete it. All right. So if you're not going to keep it, you delete it. If you are going to keep it, then you're going to read it and you're going to decide right there what folder it should be drug into. You can literally take it, drag it, and drop it if you're on your computer. And on the phone, you can move to a different folder. All right. That's it. That's the documentation. And it seems super simple. And you're like, why would I need to document that? You want to document that so that it's a reminder. Put it right on a sticky note, right? Right on a sticky note and put it on your computer. So I want to share an opportunity with you to work together. I have a program called Home Organizing for Beginners. It's really for anybody that needs a fresh start, anybody that's really starting out in their home organizing journey. And maybe you're a fairly organized person, but this program is going to lay a solid foundation of home organizing for you. It allows you to figure out what works for you, for your family, for your current season of life. And when you do that and you have that, then as life changes, because as kids get older, life changes, our busyness changes, right? Maybe you're changing a job. Our home changes as our life changes. And when you have this solid foundation, you can really learn and grow and change your home organization to fit what is happening now. Get in there. We get to work together. We'll have some Zoom meetings or conference calls, or we can just connect and you can get your home set up the way that you need it to be most functional and efficient for you. Guys, that's what I have for you today. I hope you have a fun and productive weekend. I will be back here next week sharing tangible and simple instructions about home organizing, cleaning, and time management. I will see you then.